Hello and welcome to Ellen Ruth Soap. I'm Ellen and today I'm going to be making a banana and oatmeal or banana and oats soap. And I'm going to be using this fragrance from Wholesale Supplies Plus banana, pretty straight up. But it smells really good and it's not just banana. I don't know, I think it's great. And it almost has, I don't want to say a chocolate overtone, but it kind of evokes a vanilla-ish background kick. I think it's really great. So that's the fragrance. Of course I'm going to be using oats in this, so for the banana oat. And I'm going to be using banana puree. I got this baby food. It's just bananas, water, and lemon juice to keep it from browning. So 4 ounces of banana puree is going to go in this, and it will be a goat milk soap, and I'll do the milk in oil method. So I'm going to discount water for goat milk and for the banana puree. For colorant, because this is kind of a foodie theme, and the fragrance says that it discolors to a tan. So I will do some titanium dioxide in the uncolored portion, and for the color swirl, I'm going to use my organic cacao powder because it's a really beautiful earthy brown when after saponification. It's just pretty, and I thought it kind of went with the whole foodie banana oat theme. And so I wanted to talk about the oats portion. I've gotten a lot of questions about this, and I did some research. What is colloidal oats versus oat flour? Because finding a true colloidal oat is kind of hard to find sometimes. Well, the difference is a colloidal oat, traditional colloidal oats, is a super fine grind, like more than you can do at home. You can't achieve the fineness in a coffee grinder or even in a wheat mill. It's a very fine grind, and it is a whole oat, including the germ. And there's some really wonderful skin benefits to the germ part of the the oat. Yes. Anyway, colloidal oats include the germ. Well, what you can do is, because colloidal oats are hard to find, and when you do find them, they're expensive. I think overly so, because oats are kind of inexpensive. So I got this, and this is what I've been using for my colloidal oats. It's organic, and it's a whole grain oat flour. And it's a very, very fine grind, and I will leave a link for this down below. This I use as my colloidal oats because it does include the germ, and it meets my qualifications for a colloidal oat, and it's a fine enough grind that it disperses really beautifully in the soap. It's not exfoliating at all. It just sort of not dissolves, but it just absorbs in, and I love it. I've been using it for a while now, so that is what I use for colloidal oats. When I say that's what I'm using. And it's way less expensive than buying a quote-unquote colloidal oat, and it's basically the same thing. So that's the oat portion. I do have some organic whole oats that I'll sprinkle down on top after we get this all in the mold, but there it is. I'm going to get everything pulled together, get my lye solution prepped, get my goat milk out, get all my equipment going, and get my safety gear on, and let's come back and make some banana and oats soap. And if you've been enjoying my videos, please consider hitting the like button and subscribe and the bell for notifications. All right, I'm back with all of my butters and oils are melted in here, and it's time to add my additives in, which of course is going to be my banana puree, because that's kind of the whole point of this soap, banana and oats. And I will do a double portion of colloidal oats in this, kind of like I do with my goat milk oats and honey. In fact, this is going to be very similar to that, only I'm using bananas instead of honey. So, all right, the bananas are in, and now here is my wonderful farm fresh goat milk, which I have steeply discounted my lye solution to make room for this. All right. And of course, okay, here's the oats that I use, and I'm going to do, like I said, a double portion. So normally I just do a 2 tablespoon scoop. Well, I'm going to do 4 tablespoons today because, why not? It's so good. All right, and here's my kaolin clay, and I'll do 2 tablespoons of kaolin in there. And that's it for the dry additives to the oils here. So I'm going to get this blended in and let it absorb while my lye solution finishes cooling, and we'll come back and make some soap. So my lye solution is all cooled off and ready to go, and in here I have cane sugar, tussa silk fibers, and sodium lactate. So that is what's going on. And again, it's steeply discounted to make room for that goat milk and the bananas. So again, because of the bananas being very high in sugar, and I do add sugar to my lye solution, I will keep an eye on this, kind of like I do with my goat milk and honey, just to make sure it doesn't overheat. I have only had trouble with overheating a couple of times. My soap studio is very cold, so, but you know, it's just something to be mindful of. There we go. It's starting to caramelize up. And again, this fragrance does say that it discolors to tan, so I'll put just a little bit of titanium dioxide in the uncolored portion that doesn't have my cocoa powder, just to, you know, keep it on the lighter side because I want that swirl to stand out. All right, we've got emulsion. So here we go. And when I say keep an eye on my soap, that just means like every couple hours I'll just come and take a peek and feel it with my hand. And if I can feel a lot of heat radiating, but the top doesn't look like it's cracking, you know, that's kind of just how I check on it. But I will, I will put the lid on it, you know, and kind of treat it normal and just keep an eye on it. All right, here is my little cup of cocoa that I've dispersed in some water just to make blending a little easier. There we go. And here is my titanium dioxide. And I'll get this blended and then I will add the fragrance after I get this going because I've never worked with this fragrance before. All right, it's the next day. It's been about 24 hours on our bananas and oats, and I'm really liking the top. I came down and checked it this morning because I had intended on steaming it, but I kind of like it dull like that to me with the colors. Not dull, but I don't know. I didn't want it shiny. This doesn't, to me, evoke a shiny top. So I left it. This is just how it was. What I did last night when I talked about not letting it overheat, I had the little wooden lid that comes with my mold, and this is a tall triple skinny from Workshop Heritage. I got the one with the lid. So I put the lid on it, and I did put a blanket over it. And I just came down and checked it once in a while to make sure it wasn't overheating. It got nice and hot, so this did go through gel phase, but it did not overheat. I didn't get any cracking or anything. So that is how I like to do it personally. Can't wait to get this out. So I did kind of a different in the pot pour on this, and we shall see how that goes. You know, I like to mix it up once in a while. Try something new. Whoop, there's all my oats are. So I've talked about this before on earlier videos. When you put things on the top of your soap, you want to over put them because you will lose some in translation, just like I'm losing here. And then when you get done with the finished cut bars, you will have some left. So, all right, let's get this out of the mold. It's time to cut, and here's my beauty. I still haven't come up with a name yet. I'm thinking about Olga because I love that name, and it's Russian, or it has Russian heritage, and the definition means holy, blessed, or successful, which I think is great for soap business, but I'm not sure. So I'm still taking suggestions. If you have any suggestions for this beauty for a name, I definitely want to name her. And I'm thinking it's a her, just because I keep calling it a her. So anyway, if you have any ideas, I'd love to hear them. So let's get this lovely loaf in here. First, though, I just want to talk about, look at that. You know, in the pot swirls are so groovy. Love it. Okay. So let's get this cut. And I have to kind of line it up because I want like the little end sample pieces here. So I'm still learning about where to put this on my cutter so that I can get a nice end piece off of it. And I already tightened up the strings. Look at that. Cuts like butter. Oh my word. All right. Let's pull this up. Oh, those swirls are so cool. Wow, I like that a lot. And I do have this with the oats side down to reduce drag marks. So, oh, super, super happy. These are big bars with the recipe that I'm using. Normally when I cut, I'm cutting about 5.5 ounces. These are 5.9. So they're going to cure out to 5.5 ounces. They're almost 6-ounce bars. So that is good. I love that they're big. Nice big chunky bar. Oh, these swirls. So that technique, let me talk about the pouring of this in the swirls, where I poured the, the base color is in there, and I poured the colors down the sides, and then I didn't stir it at all, and I went back and forth. Well, I did that on my beer soap, my ambered lager, if you saw that video, and I went the short way in my mold. And I love the sides of my soaps better than the actual slice. So this time I did the same pour and I poured the long way. And I am really, really loving the inside of these. So I like that pour technique when I pour it the long way, if that makes sense to you. But the sides of these soaps are still really pretty too. So all right, and there is my little widgety end piece that goes in a sample pack. Let me grab my next loaf. All right, on with my next loaf. I have my little chopstick here that I'm using to kind of clean out the troughs, and my paper towel to clean out the strings, and I did tighten these. So, next loaf. Oh, look at that beautiful side. Isn't that pretty? And that's the cocoa powder, which I think is really lovely. I love that color. It's very kind of just a muted, it looks like cocoa. Fancy that, cocoa powder that looks like cocoa. And these smell great today, by the way, if I forgot to mention that. So the scent retention is really nice. Let's get into these. Oh, I guess I could do like Katie Carson and pull some out of the middle. Why not? Oh, so pretty. Almost, I don't know, that's really cool. I like that swirl. So I'm really happy with these. Smells good, the bananas, the goat milk. I think these are just fantastic.